Welcome back to the Critical Care Outreach Team recruitment event. Thanks again for joining us today. We have here Holly Losordo, the director for the Critical Care Outreach Team. So Holly, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I have been a nurse for 27 years. The majority of that time, I keep saying majority, but every year it becomes a little less. For 15 years, I did direct patient care in a variety of ICUs, medical, cardiac, CV surgery, neurosurgery, neurocritical care, just about everything except for burns and trauma. And following that time at the bedside, concurrently, I was getting my master's degree in nursing education. So I also taught critical care nursing and nursing leadership for about 10 years. I have a passion for education, a passion for working with students, and I also have a passion for nurse and patient advocacy. So I started to get really interested in how different components of safety culture influence our ability to care for patients. So nurse staffing, our communication with physicians, our collaboration as an interprofessional team, hierarchy. How do all those different things in fact affect my ability as a nurse to care for a patient? And that kind of evolved into our ability to rescue patients and my interest in rapid response, emergency response. So ultimately, I ended up going back to study for my PhD, and that's what I studied, the influence of culture of safety on our ability to rescue. And I learned about failure to rescue and how necessary it is to have a culture that supports timely rescue. And so that became very salient in my work as a critical care outreach nurse. In terms of critical care outreach nursing, I worked for about 8 years on a critical care outreach team, and it was very similar to what we're doing at UI Health here. I started as a member of a team who was committed to helping with patient throughput and, moving patients to the hospital, to ICU, to discharge, what have you. We all happen to have critical care outreach experience. And what we realized is that we were out in the units building these relationships with nursing staff, and they started to ask for our help and for our opinion and for consulting with patients who weren't doing well. And that is how this critical care outreach came to be. And so I've been here at UI as the director to build this team since December.
Great. And can you tell us a little bit about your experience here at UI Health? Why did you choose UI Health and what do you like so much about it?
So that is a really great question. I was attracted to UI Health for this opportunity, which really showed their commitment to zero harm and to the care that they provide their patients in the community. Because any institution who is willing to invest in critical care outreach, and again, now you're going to have a team, we are going to have a team of highly trained critical care nurses who do not have any concurrent patient responsibilities. So our sole job is to go around the hospital, and ensure that patients are having their needs met if they're deteriorating, right? And not many hospitals are willing to do that. So I think it was the investment that they had and the interest that they shared in my clinical specialty, and then also the opportunity to be part of an academic medical center in the city of Chicago is just awesome, because you are working with and meeting such a diverse crew of individuals, all people of all different backgrounds, all ethnicities, all different places in their career. And I've just found in the 3 months that I've been here, I have really learned so much about nursing, about critical care outreach, and about myself, and being part of a team that is really excellent.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And then the last thing I wanted to touch upon, as you are the director for the unit, and the critical care outreach team nurses would be reporting to you, why don't you tell us briefly about what's it like to work for you? How are you like as a manager?
So I would think that if you were to ask former team members what it's like to work with me, they would tell you that I have very high expectations. I am fairly well read and familiar with best practice and current literature, current studies that are happening, different quality improvement initiatives, and that implementation science that goes with it. So earlier I mentioned it's not enough to just talk about the talk. We actually have to do the things. And that is my expectation for this team, that we will constantly be open to learning and driving quality improvement throughout the organization. My leadership style, I would say, is kind of a hybrid style that is part servant leader and part transformational leader. And critical care outreach nursing is still an evolving nursing specialty. So I'm excited to be part of making that happen. So that's where that transformational piece comes in, right? Because we're really, again, pushing to promote early detection and management of deterioration and change the culture in which we do so, right? Because we are working to optimize this culture to promote timely rescue. So that's really the transformational piece, getting critical care outreach out front and center as really the standard of care in organizations. Now, the servant piece is working with a team and inculcating a team that exists to promote critical care outreach and to allowing members of the team to be leaders in their own right, to drive their interests in the benefit of patients, nurses, and the hospital, and to ensure that you have what you need to do so, to make sure that the resources are available to you to help to decrease the barriers, whether it is operational barriers or hierarchical barriers, really to stand strong shoulder to shoulder and help eliminate those barriers so that you can actualize what you came here to do as a professional and continue your own professional growth as well. And to take the heat.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Holly. I so appreciate you telling us a little bit more about yourself and what your expectations are. So I will see you soon.
Thank you, Mary. It's been a pleasure.